Welcome, everyone, to the DweeBros podcast. I'm working on my radio voice this time around, and I want to thank you all for coming to the podcast. Take a seat, pop open your favorite soda, and listen to the sounds of three boys, Zach, Jacob, and Travis, talk video games, movies, and TV shows.
Very seductive start.
Jacob, how are you doing this evening?
I'm going to try my radio voice. Give me a second. Well, Zach, thank you very much for asking that question. I'm doing fantastic. Great day, great start to the week. A lot of great things happening on video games and sports and all around. Travis, how are you doing?
Great. Thanks for having me.
It's a sucky radio voice. Oh my gosh. Jeez. Well, welcome. We are the DweeBros. We do a monthly podcast talking all of these great things in media. And boy, oh boy, do we have quite a podcast because we finally, they had, how can I put this in layman's term? They blue balled us for so long on these next generation consoles. I was thinking the other day, this has been the most terrible time of pre-ordering these new consoles and learning information on these new consoles. It's been a weird year, but I felt like this was just in a folder and you could just tell us. You could just let us know the information.
It has seemed to be the most prolonged
and for what?
Magic trick with no magic at the end.
Yeah, there was nothing. What was the waiting? Will we get a book about this years from now about why did we have to wait a couple of weeks before the release?
I gotta think.
I don't know.
They were in some form of chicken, and I think what it was contingent upon was the Series S and the PS5 digital. For some reason with that, they did not want – nobody wanted to say what their lower console was priced at.
Yes.
They did not want to say it. One was rumored at 4, the other one was rumored at 3. And I think Sony wanted them to say theirs first because that's what came out last. We've known about the other boxes, at least the Xbox Series X we've known about for months.
Yeah.
And then the PS5, they did them both at the same time, but they held the PS5 for so long because they didn't want to talk about their digital, and then they held the price even after they announced it. It was that second box, that entry tier, that was definitely the source of it. And in the end, I don't even think it matters. I don't think anybody who wants a PS5 is going to not get one.
Yeah, nothing.
I don't think anybody who wants an Xbox Series S is going to get the other one. Like, I don't think anybody's swayed. I do think that we'll get into the consoles, but I think that was what it was about.
Now I had guessed correctly. I am the Nostradamus on console prices. I did say that it was going to be $399 and $499. Now here's the thing. With them waiting, I was like, well, if it's going to be like $599, this PS5 or the Xbox, whatever, maybe that's why they're waiting. But it wasn't even that. These prices aren't crazy on either side of it. You know what I mean? Like, I think the Xbox, the only price difference was their Series S box thing is cheaper, but there's other stuff in spec wise on that. But yeah,
I have an update on that, by the way.
What's the update
on that? Well, do we want to just get into talking about these consoles?
Yeah, I mean that's.
Listen,
we have waited for all year to talk about these consoles. Let's get into the podcast.
And next time we have a podcast, it's going to be like 1 week before they launch. So this is the time. Okay, so let's talk about Xbox first because I think that's the one that there's been a lot of confusion about.
Yes.
So. We knew about the Series X like a while ago. We've known about that for a long while. Okay, so we knew that it was powerful. We knew that it had better specs than the PS5, but the PS5 had a more proprietary solid state. So they're going to excel at different things, but they're going to be basically roughly equal, right?
Yeah.
So the Series S gets leaked in the most nonchalant. Some guy named Brad Sams uploads a picture of it. He works for PC.net or something. Uploads a picture of it with Comic Sans Xbox Series S is a little tag on it. And then 10 minutes later, all Microsoft just blew their load. They just announced on every social media they had, like, yeah, we have this other box and it's this and it's this, because this guy just like, I think that guy,
they had to.
He broke rank. He went, I guess that guy gets a lot of like insider Microsoft stuff. Yeah. He broke rank. I think he said, to hell with this. This needs to come out. This is way too close. And they announced this thing, the Xbox Series S. So it's real skinny. It's actually roughly, someone was showing, it's in between the size of a docked Switch and a 1S. It is very small.
Oh, I didn't know it was that small.
It is very small.
And it looks like the intercom that you see when you're at the drive-thru.
Yeah, it looks like an Oreos on the side of it. It's got like that black like ridge circle on a white. I think it looks sleek, but so here's the thing though. So the 1S, and this is when they announced the 1S, they revealed that not the 1S, geez. The Series X and the Series S, that's part of the problem. These names are so confusing.
You're right.
The Series X is built with 4K, 120 hertz, 120 frames in mind, with HDR. The Series S is built all digital with 1440p, 120 hertz in mind. It can upscale to 4K. Technically, if companies want to make games in 4K at 30 frames, they can. But that's what the Series S is going to be. But it's $100 cheaper than the PlayStation. But I do have an update. So we had a conversation recently before this podcast where I said, why is the Series S weaker than the 1X, which has been out for like 3 or 4 years? Because the 1X is like 8 teraflops and all this stuff. And then the Series S is like 4 teraflops or 5 teraflops. The 1X can do 4K native. The 1S looks like, or the Series S looks like it's targeting, 1440p. And I was under the impression that the Series S is weaker because of that. But I guess I just did some research today, so I was informed for this podcast. I guess I was wrong in that. It's not weaker. So it is lower overall raw compute, but it is outfitted with SSD the same way that all the other new consoles are. It also has a different type of processor in it. It's got these dual multi-core threads, whereas the 1X has 8 Jaguar CPUs that are the same as the base PS4. Like, it's really old. And so and then today they did some hands-on stuff for the Series S and the Series X, and the Series S is performing great. Like, it does the quick resume. You can run 5 different games at one time. And so you can be in a game and jump from, just like with the PS4, how you can put it into rest mode and then quick resume after the menu. On Xbox Series S and Series X, you can have up to 5 games doing that. Which that's freaking sweet. That is mind blowing to me.
Yeah, I put in the group chat today, why'd I buy a PC? Because my PC can't do it.
Yeah, I don't think any of our PCs do that. So I was wrong. Now the Series S, there are a couple features the 1X can do that the Series S they're not targeting for it to do. But the Series S, if you own a 1X, is an upgrade. But if you own a 1X, you're probably getting a Series X if you're upgrading, because you're that person that wants the highest.
The upper raw power.
So all that being said, they're both good. They both seem like good boxes. I mean, I don't think I would buy a Series X right now because I own a PC and because there's nothing out right now. But if I wasn't planning on getting a PS5, I might early adopt it. But I am getting a PS5. Well, I will say that Series S is intriguing. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's got ray tracing. That's the other thing. The Series S has ray tracing. 1X does not.
Yep.
The Series S has SSD and ray tracing. So having a ray tracing box for $299, like, you can't build a PC. You can't find anything out there that will do ray tracing and 120 hertz and SSD.
For that cheap.
That does not exist anywhere else. So I've flipped my script a little bit. The Series S is a good deal. Like I said, if I sold a couple things and I could get it for basically even, I might do that. But ray tracing and SSD is pretty good.
Yeah. If you want to get on this is introductory, like, you're brand new to gaming, you just want to get your foot in, man, you need to hop on the Series S and hop on it quick.
Probably the best. It's probably the best value. I mean, that's unreal.
I'm blown away by the fact that they were able to produce that for $299. Obviously, a giant loss, but Xbox is in-game, which is what's so impressive is the leaps this company's taken over the past 3 years in terms of just getting the install base back and then hopefully chunking out the games later. But that's the key indicator. Can they chunk out the games later?
Does the Series S, it doesn't have a disk drive, right?
No,
No
it's
disc, all digital.
completely wireless.
And the
digital.
Series X does have a disc drive.
Yes. And the biggest difference between the two is the Series X comes with a full SSD 1 terabyte card, while the Series S, unfortunately,
500.
only comes with a 500 gigabyte one.
That's
Still
interesting.
580.
Is it 5? I thought it was 500.
I thought it was 580, but it's basically it's
Yeah.
probably 580, and then the OS is 80. Like that's
There we
probably
go.
what
Yeah.
it is.
At the end of the day, which to me it was weird. But it probably helped keep the price down.
Yeah, that's interesting because like the PS5, their two SKUs are just like one's digital. Like you don't get the disc drive.
It's the same box
It's
for
the same
PS5,
box for each of them. You're getting the same specs. So that's interesting. They're just going. They're
Yeah.
different. They have different goals.
And Jacob, you hit the nail on the head. Different goals.
Yeah,
Xbox's
100%.
goal is get this out here as a loss leader. The Series S is kind of like the thing that they think will sell. Like I was reading interviews. They hope that the Series S sells the most.
Oh yeah,
That's going to be the most people getting it in their house, getting Game Pass.
Yeah, they want the cheapest possible option to get people to pay the Game Pass.
Yeah. Well,
and then the Series X is like their enthusiast level. Like if
Yeah.
you're really, really into Xbox, get that.
Well, that's what even.
But they revealed them in opposite order. But I guess it makes sense because they wanted the hardcore gamers to be thinking about the Series X, but they're pushing hard. All their ads and their marketing right now are the Series S. They want all the parents to know about the Series S.
So this is where I want to get into the conversation of like, because like pre-game, like we're getting ready to get these new consoles. We're getting ready to experience all this. And every single one of us, if you're watching this podcast, if you don't know this, every single one of us is involved with all three of these companies. Even Nintendo, we don't talk about them very much because all they do is pump out indie games right now. But we're involved very heavily in all three of these companies. We've all, let's be honest, we're a Sony leaning like podcast.
Yeah,
we
lean
Sony.
Yeah. We lean Sony.
Yeah, we lean Sony. Like, but this is where I'm even interested in very, very much so in the Xbox, because even with you talk about the Xbox Series X, their goal with that is hardcore Xbox fans and people who want to maybe dip their toe with like higher performance PC level kind of gaming for a really good price. I mean, those specs of that Series X rivals some of these computers out there. Yeah. And now Xbox fully supports like mouse and keyboard play with most of their games. That is crazy. One of the teenagers I hang out with is like, I'm playing Call of Duty on a mouse and keyboard now. He's like, that is a night and day difference. And that right there is huge. If they could fix their terrible OS system to support that.
But they have that the new S, that's what they revealed. That's what people had hands on today. They said it is so fast. It's so much more smooth. It's so much more.
Yep.
You have your games and then you have your whatever, like it's more logical.
Yeah, but I'll miss the ads. Are there ads still on there?
I think Microsoft has a lot in plan. And then they also, let's talk about what they're offering with the Xbox in a whole, what they unrolled this generation, but now is being pushed more than ever is, hey, pay $35 a month and get your box and get Game Pass with it.
Yeah, they're basically doing like kind of like the phones, like you just pay.
I think the Series S one is $28 a month.
The subscription
you get a Series S and you get, and that's crazy.
Thumbs up.
I mean, that's basically. I wouldn't do it, but I mean.
No, but let's
talk
talk
about that. A lot of people would. Yeah.
$28. You know what that is? That's a premium account to Netflix. If you watch 4K Netflix and you cut that, you can get an Xbox.
Well, the Game Pass is already $15 on console, so you're getting Game Pass, and then another $10 a month you get the console.
That's why I'm thinking. Like Microsoft is thinking 10 steps ahead, or they're not even. Let's just say this now. They're no longer running.
I was thinking today, and you guys talking about this made me think that with PS4, there was a clear path in what they wanted to do, and they just they swept the floor with Microsoft last gen, just destroyed them.
Yeah, and Microsoft on the other end, they had no idea what they were doing,
and they had no strategy. Everything that they had built up and said, "Hey, we can't take off the DRM and the always online, and we can't take Connect out of it. You have to have all this." And within like a week, all that was a lie. And they undid that, before launch. And it was like, they lost everything that they put into it at the beginning and they never recovered. This generation, everyone has their own little path that they have grooved. From this past generation, it is so, everyone's identity is like supreme this generation.
Yeah.
Out of any other
Yeah.
generation I can remember in recent times.
Yeah, none of them are like pie on their face. Like,
Yeah,
what are they
they're-
doing?
Yeah, they know what they're doing. Like Nintendo has nailed handheld gaming. They so much so that everyone's left. Like
Yeah.
there's still the cloud gaming, and you can play it on your iPhone.
But yeah, they're
But like they
There's-
have got that full
Yeah.
console experience and putting it on there. They have the best. They've locked that in. Among their other first party titles, PlayStation, they have this ungodly talent. They are Nintendo level of like first party, whatever, these studios. Oh my gosh, they've nailed that. And now Xbox finally has an identity. This generation, they've just kind of felt around in the dark. Now it's like, hey, Game Pass, we have a great deal for you, $300 of this stuff. You're going to grab all these kids. Or it's like, hey, I want to get my kid a console. Am I going to pay $400, $500 for this? Or do I pay $20, $30 and they get all the games that they can shut up and not have to bother me every week about what new game's coming out? They just get it through Game Pass.
That's another
playing
thing.
with their friends. So
Xbox completely crapped on Google Stadia in every way, shape, or form.
yeah, they got great on their subscription stuff. It's a lot
and
of
now
great subscriptions.
Amazon launched their Luna program, which I'm excited to see what that even looks like. Even though
I canceled my PS5 and got the Luna. I forgot to tell you. I'm putting everything on Luna.
I just like, for me, the way I look at this was Zach, you hit this nail on the head. Like, the company just said, you know what? We want PlayStation users to buy an Xbox too.
Yeah.
And play the games we have to offer. And now they have the Series S, which is such a cheap alternative that most people might look at like, I do want to play an RPG. I do want to play Halo.
Yeah.
All right, I'll just grab it. Whatever.
Yeah, I guess that kind of goes into the other thing when you talk about RPG. Like they just bought Bethesda, which I think out of every studio they've said they've acquired and they did this is the one that made me like kind of like, whoa, like that was the mega purchase.
Well, all these people they've bought and these studios they've started, it's like they shipped games. And it's
it never was like an audible gasp.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, like Bethesda was a shocking, but also made sense purchase too.
It makes sense. Those games, I don't know if I talked about it before, but like Elder Scrolls, me growing up, Elder Scrolls Morrowind was Xbox exclusive. Oblivion, I always thought of as an Xbox game. It was on PC, but it was Xbox only for like a year.
Yeah.
Fallout 3 launched just on Xbox, and like Bethesda and they worked together closely, almost kind of like second party for a while, and then Xbox kind of lost its way, and Sony, and they went more over to the Sony side. But when you think about those RPGs and even outside of the Elder Scrolls, like Prey, those like immersive sim style, like those are the games that Xbox should have, you know?
Yeah.
And I mean, I get some people are like, oh, this is sad for people that love those games on PlayStation. It's like, I mean, outside of Skyrim and Doom, like those games were kind of always more on Xbox anyway. So if you really want to play Elder Scrolls, you'll figure it out. I don't know. Like it's not the end of the world. Like you're not being robbed of some, it's not like when Final Fantasy switched from Nintendo to Sony, like Bethesda has made some games on PlayStation more recently, but it'll be interesting to see. But
I know for a fact Bethesda came out and said their plan is not to discontinue any kind of like multi-platform games.
No, that's not true. They said no, that's not what's happening. So anything that is currently marketed as Sony exclusive, they are not going to stop that. So Deathloop, and there's one other game right now that is Sony exclusive for 1 year, but it's made by Bethesda. Ghostwire Tokyo. Ghostwire Tokyo and Deathloop are both Bethesda games. They're PlayStation exclusive for 1 year. And Phil Spencer said, he said, we will honor those deals. He said, moving forward past that, it will be case by case basis. But then they go on to say they spent $7.5 billion on the company. Like, Elder Scrolls 6 will not be on PlayStation.
No, and I understand.
It will not be.
Yeah, I understand that.
I actually think, here's what I think will happen. I think Sony has played with the PC stuff recently too. I think what is going to happen is I do believe that the next Elder Scrolls absolutely will launch on Xbox and PC exclusively.
Yeah.
I think maybe a year later, they might port it out to the PlayStation people and they'll get it a year late. which is
just get some extra,
yeah, it gets ported on down the line. That stuff will come, because if you look at what Microsoft's already done with Switch, they've put Cuphead on there and some other, and that Ori.
But the key difference there is Nintendo likes working with Xbox. They do freaking commercials together, like Xbox and Nintendo. Phil Spencer has said many times, we have no problem putting our games on PlayStation, but so far they have only let us put Minecraft on there, and that's because Minecraft was already out before we owned it. He said, but they have not let us put our games out there, and they're kind of calling Sony's bluff. It's like, okay, you don't want us to put your games on your console.
Yeah.
Okay, well, do you not want us to put Elder Scrolls on your console?
Yeah.
Because that will move shipments of your console. But.
Yeah, so we'll see how it plays out. That's kind of my prediction. But also, I got to hand it to Microsoft. You know, we are Sony fanboys a lot. I will admit it most of the time. But, man, they kicked Sony in the nuts. I would say a 7-year payback.
Yeah.
Kick in the nuts. I cracked up when I saw it. But to give some context, during the PS4, Xbox One, when they showed that off, Xbox was like, hey, it's always online and there's no used game stuff. And it was like, what the frick? And then Sony came out and they put out a YouTube video. And like, here's how you do used games on the PS4. Step 1. And they just handed the case. And I think that was like the moment it just killed Xbox for the generation. Like that was that just killed it. And Sony cannot figure out, and I was even seeing today with the new Yakuza game, there was confusion with like the upgrade. So you can buy it on PS4, can you upgrade to PS5? It turns into this big encyclopedia of like, well, if you get this version, you get the ultimate version, you get this. Well, you can't do it with this, and you actually have to pay upgrade.
There's like a 9-paragraph thing. Yes. If you own Spider-Man Miles Morales Ultimate Edition, you have access to Spider-Man PS4 Remastered. But if you own Spider-Man PS4, you do not have access to Spider-Man PS4 Remastered unless you upgrade.
And Xbox has made it so easy. Hey, if you get this version, it upgrades to this. You just get it. It's just a free upgrade, whatever. And they freaking tweeted out, there was like, here's how upgrade work on Xbox One or Series X or whatever. Just update. And I was like, oh my gosh, it took 7 years and you got to kick them right back in the nuts. Sony, man,
I have stopped buying PS4 games. I will not buy another PS4 game because it's so confusing. Yeah. I don't want to screw it up. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm moving past. PS4 is over in my world.
It's over in my head too. It's like I'm done. I was already done buying, but it's like definitely now.
I do have one question I want to ask you two, just because I want your opinions. Everyone in this podcast was able to secure a PS5, which I'm sure we'll talk about our horrendous experiences with that in a little bit. But are you guys ever considering getting a Series S?
Oh yeah, I am. I mean, I own a 1S, and I've been having fun with that. I've been playing. I'll talk about that later. I've been playing some Game Pass. I think I'm potentially being given, or I'm figuring it out, but I have someone I can get a 1X from.
A 1X or
1X.
Okay, sorry.
So I don't know if I have both of them. I may sell. Like, I don't know. I'm not in a rush, but I mean, I am sure there are things I own gaming wise that I'm not using that I could sell and just have the Series S. It's a very easy thing to get. It would be pushed more by if there was some kind of a game I thought specifically I wanted to play on the couch. But it does kind of eliminate any need for me to use or have my Steam Link, because the thought of that always was, well, I can play whatever's on my PC on the couch. But now with Game Pass, I have games on my PC that I also have on the Xbox, so it kind of does the same thing. So I don't know. For me, it's too good of a deal not to break into at some point, especially now they're gonna have EA Play on there. So. But right now, it's not a need. For completion purposes, I think I might at some point.
I think there's 3 tier. Like I got my Nintendo because I love the first party stuff. I've got my PlayStation because I love the first party stuff. For Xbox, they have the PC, which I just paid and got a PC.
Yeah.
So I think there's different tiers to get that level of those games in this, place. I think there's the Series S, there's the Series X, and then, in my circumstance, there's the PC above that, and then you get to play all these games. And that's where I'm at. I already am in this ecosystem in some way with the PC. I think, like you said, if you can just boot it up on your TV very easily and boot it up here and you have Game Pass, totally makes sense. I don't really have that problem, whatever, but that's where I'm at is
the other benefit I feel that a lot. Like I feel like I already have the Xbox Series Z with my PC. Like I'm good. The thing I do like about having that is like the other night, sometimes when I'm looking at Game Pass and I'm looking at my PC, it's like I don't have like 200 gigs to just download a bunch of crap and undownload it on my PC. But having that dedicated Xbox over there, I just open up Game Pass and I download like 10 games. And like
you just boot,
I'm not hurting for space on my Xbox over there. That's the only reason why sometimes I like doing that. Because some games I play on PC, I play a lot and often. Like I keep Destiny installed all the time. I keep a couple games installed all the time. I always have The Witcher installed. I always have some of these things. And that stuff changes, but it's nice to have that other kind of partition over there. But I could also just get another drive on my PC if I wanted to.
No, cool. I just wanted to talk about that because I think I'm interested. I'm not interested. I think 2020 will not be a year I get one, but I think when we get into 2021 and I think they become more readily available, I might actually explore the option of grabbing one myself.
Yeah, it's interesting for sure, but it's kind of a weird thing when you're so blessed and you have enough high-tech equipment that you don't need something and you're like, I want it, like it looks cool.
I have to have it. I have to have the Xbox.
Is that not the truth though? Like,
but then I have to stop and say, I mean, even if I sold some gaming stuff, like there might be music equipment that I don't own and have it all that I can buy with that money. So I don't know. We'll see.
Well, how did our PlayStation experience go? We did put up the reactions to the price and all this other stuff that came out. I thought that was a great, conference. You can watch our reactions to it. I think Jacob and Zach both joined in on that. What did you think, Jacob? Are you all in on this generation? How are you coming out feeling?
Very excited for the PlayStation 5. I think the idea of having some very strong launch titles really excites me because normally I don't think we get great launch titles. I really don't. Yeah. I think we get one game that has to tie us over for 5 months, and it really ticks me off. With this one, I feel like I'm going to get possibly 3 games, which if I can get 3 games that ties me over for 5 months, I'm not going to beat 3 games in 5 months. I know what kind of gamer I am. Mm-hmm. So, the idea that I get Spider-Man right off the rip, oh my gosh, yes, give that to me. I've been wanting that, like, I'm not going to make an analogy because it'd be really bad, but I want that really badly. But then also you got Destruction All-Stars as well. That's going to be something that's going to come out and launch. I'm pretty sure. Did someone say who else is coming out near launch? Demon Souls.
Demon Souls is launch. Yeah.
So and I'm not interested in Demon Souls. Travis was trying to convince me before we started the podcast. Like, Jacob, check this out. And no, who knows? I might get it just because it's a launch title. I got Super Bomberman R because it was a friggin' launch title.
If you got Super Bomberman R, you have to get Demon Souls. let me sell you on Demon Souls. I think it's going to be.
Time we've heard this.
I think this is going to be the easiest of the games you've tried. I really do. I think that it's going to be easier for you. It's level based, so you don't have to explore like a whole world and trip, and you don't know where to go straight. Keep going straight, and you'll run into a boss. And the bosses are less like the gargoyles and Dark Souls, and less like a big guy with a sword swinging all over the place. The bosses in this game are more like a big monster that moves slow and does very repetitive things. So you'll pick up on the patterns pretty quickly, I would think. So
who knows?
That's my pitch. It's level based too. Like you go up to a thing and you click on it and it's like, you want to be in world 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, or 1, 4, or 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3. And when you beat a level, you get access to the next one. There's 5 worlds. There's 3 levels in each world. So
it's like Mario.
I mean, it's the Dark Souls of Mario.
Dark
Souls of
Mario Souls.
I do have a problem with the PS5. Is the size.
It's not big enough. I agree, Jacob.
I measured the spot where my PS4 sits, and it might not fit.
I wanted mine to hit the ceiling, and it doesn't. I'm kind of bummed about that.
I might scream.
It's 3 inches under my ceiling.
I'm talking
I wanted it to touch it.
I'm gonna mount this thing. I might have mounted on the wall.
Ungodly big.
Like,
so unbelievable.
I have no idea where to put this stupid thing. And that's what
it's probably the size of my PC over here.
I'm very angry. I know I'm not angry right now, but I am angry on the thought of like, I don't know where I'm gonna put this stupid.
It doesn't fit in any entertainment system.
No, it doesn't. It might measure mine. I literally took out a tape measure. I was like, this isn't gonna fit. Yeah. I literally said like, And I'm sitting in my head,
Mine does. I have an IKEA one, but it leaves maybe a centimeter, so the heat couldn't whatever. It's going beside my TV, like it has to sit there.
it's going to drive me nuts. I'm not. I'm excited.
Did any of you guys go digital?
No.
Mm-mm.
I thought about it.
I did
because
too.
those things look so slick.
But
Yeah.
the pre-order was so freaking chaotic. I just wanted to get my hands on one.
That was the thing too. Was some people were trying to theorize like what happened because what was the stock situation? More people wanted the disc versus the discless. But what had happened? Some people were coming out and saying no, like it's up to the retailers how many they want to order, how many is coming to them, whatever. But like it looked like the retailers were like, well, if you're not coming to buy freaking games from me, you know what I mean? Like we want more of the disc based.
Yeah.
So they just ordered less, I think, of the disc. So
the pre-order situation was hilarious, by the way. Which
an absolute train wreck.
It was fun. It was funny because they did the experience and we reacted to it, and it was on a Wednesday. And my Wednesdays are busy. I'm very, very busy even through the night. And I'm sitting here. I just got done teaching, and I look down at my phone, and here's our boy Zach.
Well, let me preface this.
Okay, go ahead.
The keynote happens. It's like, when are the pre-orders coming up? People are saying, oh, pre-orders, they're tomorrow, whatever. Also, Jeff Keighley, is he part of Sony? What's happening? Because he was the one giving a lot of this information out, and Sony didn't put it in their own keynote. I don't know why Sony can't figure out PR.
Jeff Keighley is the king of gaming.
He is.
He knows it all.
He was the king gamer. So what he did is he gave all this information out. Pre-orders start on tomorrow, on the Friday, whatever. But then I started seeing tweets, rumors like some of these might go up tonight. So I put in our group chat, everyone be on a freaking alert. And okay, no one's okay. We're just talking in there, whatever. And I'm busy in the evening, and I come home 6:30, 7 or like 8 or whatever. And I look, and like 20 minutes before, on the tweet, 20 minutes prior, pre-orders are up, Best Buy, blah, blah, this. And I was like, why didn't no one, where is the group chat? And they're selling out. Everything's selling out, and I'm freaking out in our group chat. And Jacob's like, I'm busy. And Jacob, 5 minutes later, got one. And I am just screaming. I'm like throwing a fit in my house because I can't get it.
I'm sitting with my friend
like,
Kenny.
oh, I got it.
I'm sitting in the hallway with Kenny, and I'm like, oh, I guess the pre-orders went up. I guess I'm going to try to get one. And I'm walking to my car. I'm in the Best Buy app on my phone. Click refresh. Oh, hey, add to cart. Purchase. Oh, hey, I got one. And I was like, and Zach's in here screaming all caps. Like, I can't get in. I was just like, hey, I got one.
I put in all caps in our group chat. I'm trying to get y'all to get the hell online. Like, just get online.
It was hilarious. I was just like, this man, it's always ironic. That's okay. This man's like tooth and nail hitting the refresh button on his keyboard.
It always happens to me.
I'm on my cell phone data plan in my car at the cart purchase.
I deserve it. I get too worked up. So you almost got the digital, Travis.
Yes.
But I think for me, why I was also like, it did look sleeker. It was a little slimmer, but for $100, I have the option to this gen to look at 4K Blu-rays. If something happens, or if there's a certain deal that I really, if a game's like $10, physical during something, and it's like, well, I'll check that out, physical, whatever. And I don't know, but
have the choice at least later on. But I thought about it because I'm going all digital. I don't care what.
Yeah, and I am
edition.
too. Yeah.
I don't care what they put out. I don't care if the disc has got. I don't care. I am all in going digital, but I have so many PS4 games I haven't played yet.
Yeah.
And once I buy the PS5, I will never put those games into my PS4. Like I will play them on the PS5 because, I mean, for the first time in my memory, we're getting like a new console generation that's just gonna. Well, actually, it probably won't just upgrade the games. Maybe it will just play them.
Yeah, maybe not.
I guess maybe it should. I don't know. But
one other side note: with all this new tech being announced, all this stuff started to come out. Hey, what's the price of these next gen games? And it looks like $70, and that is, I think, long overdue with the cost of these games being so like just shooting through the roof. I get that. It also kind of really helps, I think, Game Pass These
Yeah.
games are going to be $70. Okay, well, I might just do a Netflix subscription level
Makes
stuff
it
with my
even more of a
games.
value. Yeah.
It does. But on the other end of that, it also has made me think like, you mentioned Destruction All Stars, Jacob, which does look fun, and I was intrigued by that. But I actually am I'm only getting one game this launch. I'm getting Demon Souls for
Yeah.
$70.
Yeah. I
I
mean, I'm
think
not
I
buying
really do want to
multiple
play
games.
Miles Morales, and that Destruction All Stars looks fun. I'll wait till that goes down in price. Not that I don't think I'm not like, foaming at the mouth because of the price increase to 70. It's just, well, I just exit here. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not really here for all these games now. If you're going to put that premium on it, it's like,
Yeah, I think there's a conversation that needs to be had, though, because this is where I had a conversation with a friend, and he was messaging back and forth because he tried to get obviously pre-orders didn't go as planned. Some merchants released early, some wasn't supposed to release. It got really chaotic, and then Sony came out and said, "Hey, we're going to release more quantities here soon." And then GameStop came out and said, "Well, we have extra quantities now." My friend went and stood in line at GameStop. They had like 20 people in line. The dude walked out and said, "The first 5 people here get them. No one else does."
Yeah.
And he was like number 8. He was hacked. He was furious.
Yeah.
But the conversation that ended up turning to me and him was like, man, these games, they're getting more expensive, but I feel like they always come out half finished. And like we started talking about like what does that look like? Because whenever you increase the price of something, the demand of the work and the quality of the product I'm getting, it goes up with it. And I'm having an issue just because I recently have also played a game, Marvel's Avengers, and I thought I canceled my pre-order. I didn't. So I got it for $60, got it for the full price, and I started playing it, and I was just like, oh, I paid $60 for this, and this game is half-baked, and it's just like, is it my job?
I think at this point you got to know what you're signing up for by genre.
But see, this is where
because Marvel Avengers is a games of service, just like Anthem, just like Destiny, just like Warframe, just like The Division. It's a loot-based shooter. It's 2020. These things have been out for like 6 years. When you buy a loot-based shooter at launch, you're getting a half-baked. You're paying $60. It's going to need expansions. I don't really have sympathy for you in that case.
No, I just gave you one. I just gave you a small sample size. Again, I canceled mine. I know what I was getting to. I understand that. But
yeah. I get what you're saying, because that was a problem this generation of these games coming out and then they get fixed after months and months and years and all these updates.
But be more specific.
All right, let's talk
these games.
Let's talk No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky.
Hold on.
Start.
So these games, I think you mean loot-based games. Those games
not
are always
just loot-based games.
Not just loot-based games.
So what are the other games? You're talking about No Man's Sky.
I'm talking No Man's Sky. I'm talking Drive Club. I'm talking I know it's loot-based, but Destiny was a big one.
That's a loot based. I'm saying, and Drive Club is also an expansion based live service game. So you're naming all live service based games.
What? So wait,
you're naming all live service
games.
Most
games follow that model though. To now,
there's a lot of single player games that don't follow that model.
What, Sony games?
No, there's a lot of other games. Assassin's Creed's not a loot based.
They're cosmetic driven now. It's all the little
but it's not a live service game. You're not driving around with friends.
And even those games that come out and they're glitchy as all get out and they barely work. That's my point.
Jacob, my point is there's the more live model your game is, the more likely it is to come out incomplete. Not because it's not complete, but because those games need feedback to make them what they need to be. They're just not conducive to all-out launches.
But you just said Assassin's Creed, so I sparked I go wrong. I'm not
say what you will about those games. They're forgettable to me, but they're made. They're done when they come out. Like I don't.
I just think this gen had in games I didn't even play of like people complaining, oh, okay, now it's fixed, and I know it's game for service and it's online. I get all that, but it just felt like, okay, now this game's ready to play. Now this game, I felt like that was a conversation that kept coming up this generation, but to the point, and what I just remember just now, BioShock Infinite, when that came out, there was like a big giant ad of all this stuff, like right when you open the box, please pre-order the DLC. Like there was all these little marketing things they were trying to do even since then, the end of the 360 generation, to where you could tell we need more money. You know what I mean? Like like they were trying to find out where they could kind of squeeze that money out.
And I could talk through like Fallout 4. I can talk through Red Dead when it first came out struggled. There was glitches that had. It wasn't like, I'm not saying it was like completely unfinished, but it still had struggles that had to be constantly updated along the way. I can talk about Odyssey. Go ahead.
But these games come in so hot. Like even if they charge $10 more, it's not going to make a difference in their ability to not have them come in so hot.
Okay, they
finish these games like.
Here's where my conversation was going. This was my point. Here's and I understand. Yeah, production and all that stuff makes sense. My point is like, when does the confidence in the ability to make games go down? When does that start to happen? Because
depends on the company.
I think
games aren't being made by some game committee. It just depends on the company. There's companies that are trustworthy that have a good track record, and there's those that don't.
But it's consumer confidence. This is what I'm talking about. Like when you talk about like a market, you talk about consumers. Are consumers confident in the products they're getting? And to simply state, like the consumer has to be educated on the decision they're making. That's not the case. That's the 20%. What about the 80%? That's what drives the market. They're not. What about the parents who buy the game?
80% of people are buying Call of Duty and Madden every year, and they seem to not care.
No, really, because Madden sucks, and they're starting to care right now.
They have the most. This Madden is the highest selling of all time.
Which, first off, is bullcrap. That drives me nuts. That's the case.
I mean, it is, but that's what I'm saying. Is you're saying the 80% care, and I'm saying the 80% are buying these games.
They bought it, and they're all complaining about it. That's the point.
They bought it, and they complained last year.
I will swerve the conversation a little bit. So one thing that I have seen, at the end of last gen, like halfway through last gen, or this current gen, I guess you could say, we started seeing like the Crash trilogy come out at like $40, and some of these games started experimenting with different pricing, which
multiplayer games. Premium, like Overwatch launched at 40.
Yeah,
Vanguard or Valorant, which is a game I played a good amount this year. It's a multiplayer shooter, kind of like Counter-Strike online. It's a fantastic game. It came out. It's free. It's just free. You just download it, and it's not pay to win. It's just free. Like. You see a lot of that experimentation with multiplayer games because there's a lot of games that are just not interested in adding a campaign. They just want to make a really good multiplayer game. And it's like, how do we price this? Is it 40? Is it 60? Is it free? I think that those are going free. You're seeing remasters come in at 40. These kind of expansion light Miles Morales. I don't know. Is Miles Morales 70?
It's 50. It's 50.
Okay. Yeah, like that and Uncharted Lost Legacy. Yeah. Those are 40. You're seeing a lot of indie games that just come in right at 20 or right at 40.
So you might see some of these more. If you're getting that 70 price, maybe that's the new max, but maybe you start seeing a lot of stuff across the board. We don't know the price. Now it's going to be maybe a per game basis even more than it was this current gen, where it's like, okay, Miles Morales is 50, but maybe the next, I don't know, Madden is going to be 60. Or it's 55. I don't know. Like it's just going to be up to the.
Jacob. I hear everything you're saying, but here's my take. I think for your average consumer, whether the game is 60 or whether it is 70, it is. If it's something they want to play, they will pay it. If it's something they do not want to pay, $10. That is like a 13% difference in price. That is not going to make someone go from a yes decision to a no decision on something they want to play.
I 100% agree with you, but with everything that's been driven, even the fact that like we can admit that 3 years from now, most of these games are all going to be digitally driven and direct from resale. Like the resale of video games, I don't think are going to exist very much longer. Like I think it's going away.
Probably not.
That was a big deal to people because people could come in and buy games for $20 cheaper that they really wanted, but they weren't going to spend the full price on. So now that if we're going all digital and you're telling me you're slapping a $70 price tag, and some of these games do not go down in price.
Games used to cost $90 when they were cartridges. It doesn't matter.
But it's going to be a bummer. I get what Jacob's saying is like during Black Friday, that's the part where this is the first generation I'm going all digital, but it is a bummer to where
Jake,
it's like,
when's the last time you boxed up your games and sold them at GameStop? Maybe recently. I don't know. I haven't done that since I was in college.
I haven't done that either, but there's a lot of people who do that. And I understand I don't do it because I hate GameStop.
But that's how younger people used to afford gaming, and now they have Game Pass. So it's superfluous. It doesn't matter. They don't buy the games.
But not every game's on Game Pass either.
Yeah.
Or they have EA Play, or they have all these other things. What I'm saying is the used game ecosystem where you paid a little bit of money and you would kind of cycle these games in, these games out. You'd build your own Game Pass by basically rolling the same investment on the same 5 games over and over and over again as a kid, right? That's what you would do. What I'm saying is now, instead of doing that, you just have Game Pass or you have EA Play or you have that's the solution for the people that are on a budget. Or it's going to be you buy the game and you own it. I mean, I buy games digitally on computer for $60 and there's no way I can't sell those games. I own them.
Yeah.
The games I own on Steam, and I buy them if I want them. And you know what? It's just over. Like to me, I don't think it's going to matter.
I think it will, because it's kind of a bummer to me. What I like is a game will come out in October, or Ghost of Tsushima is a good example, because I think it's still $60 right on the PlayStation Store, I would assume.
Mm-hmm.
But come Black Friday here in a couple weeks, I mean 2 months actually, but like that comes out, that's probably going to be $40 at Black Friday, and that's when I would want to pick that up. That's when I'm going to want to pick that up. But
Ghost of Tsushima came out in July. It came out 2.5 months ago.
Yeah, but that will be $40 during Black Friday, and you're not going to have $40 on PSN. I don't know. Maybe they will.
I bet it'll be cheap.
And even some games, like we can talk through, like God of War. God of War, I just checked. It's $20, and like that's a good. Like God of War was worth $60. It was worth a $60 experience. But for you to get that game at $20, but it came out back in 2018, if I'm correct. Or is it 2017?
I think $20 is fair for God of War. If you buy a PS4 tomorrow and you miss this whole generation, paying $20 for God of War is a
great price for it. Like you're stealing it, because I do think I thought it was worth the $60.
Yeah,
I really did. The experience was great.
The games that sell a lot maintain their price. You know what? Still $60. Super Mario Odyssey. You know what game never goes on sale ever? Any Nintendo game.
Yeah.
Any Nintendo game. We've had this problem already. It's just Sony, their first party is that good. Those games are going to hold. You know what didn't hold its money whatsoever? Death Stranding. You could buy that game for $23 2 months after it came out because it didn't sell well.
I understand.
Period. So if the game sells well, it's going to hold its price. Doesn't sell well, it's not going to hold its price.
But even when
even
games are selling well, because games like I was able to get some of these awesome titles during Black Friday all throughout these generations and stuff, because it's just Black Friday and it's like, oh, well, they want to jump in on it. The problem with everything going to digital, I love the convenience of it, but we're going to lose that competition between Best Buy and Walmart and Target. Everybody's wanting to shoot out and get their, the money from it. We're going to lose that. We're going to lose that competition because it's all going to be on the Sony store. It's all going to be on the Microsoft store. It's all
It's going to be direct to console. And
I'll tell you, you know what? In a normal year, I would be trying to buy Doom Eternal right now during Black Friday. You know what I don't have to buy? Doom Eternal, because it's going to be on Game Pass in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that was the game this whole year I was going to buy on Black Friday, and now I don't have to.
Yeah.
I was going to buy the Yakuza games. They're on Game Pass. And these are not all companies necessarily owned by Microsoft. So
here's my point. Here's what I was delving around. Do you ever see those old school commercials, or not the old school commercials, but the old school news stories that came out and said there's a parent that's on the news station. They're like, I just don't understand why I can't play my old games on my system anymore. Why do I have to get the new Nintendo? Why do I have to do this? And I used to say, like, man, they're stupid. They don't understand game. And I'm sitting here now at 25 years old, like, this is a new era of gaming. It's new. Even as a PC owner, digital is not new to me, but the fact I can't resell things like I used to be able to, or have the ability to, is starting to disappear.
Yeah.
I have to now adjust to what this is going to look like. Is everything going to be subscription based? Is these games going to be direct from publisher to console? And is it going to stick around? How long is that price going to stay? Because if it's direct to console, they might keep that $70 price tag on a lot longer than what we're used to. I don't know, because that's all the profit they're getting. So this is a new kind of thing that we're not used to. I understand what that parent's a little bit saying now. Yeah. I kind of feel it a little bit more. And this is
I hear you. My whole point is that I don't buy games day one that I don't really freaking have a good feeling for.
100%.
So this change affects me zero. I bought Death Stranding day one. I was going to do that whether it was 60 or 70 or 80. I bought Red Dead day one. I played it later, but I bought it day one. I was going to do that no matter what it was going to be. I did not buy Doom Eternal day one because I did not feel strongly about it. So my whole point is the 70 versus 60. I hear what you're saying. You can't sell it later. I just believe in the end of the day, a year from now, we'll all just adjust and nobody will be talking about it, because the games you really want to play day one are going to be worth 70.
Yeah, I'm not.
But it's funny that maybe I still wouldn't do this now. I don't know, because I was thinking back at the PS4 launch. I got that Killzone game, And I got that more.
Well, you weren't married then, big dog.
That's true. That's what I'm saying.
You had a lot of expendable income then.
I had a lot more different income stuff.
That's funny. That's really funny.
But what I will say, but from back then, if Killzone was 70 at that time, it'd make me think, or I think I bought the Battlefield 3 game or 4 game at the time too, and that was another 60. But it was like that extra $10 for whatever reason, like that Destruction All Stars game looked fun. If it was $50, maybe I would jump into it. That $20 difference, like, maybe that'd be fun to launch to play around on my new console. But I won't play 70 for that. But Demon Souls, that's worth $7. I'll put the $70 down and lay it down for that.
That Destruction All Star, that crap, that stuff like that. I know you guys are interested in that. They have got to learn those things are not going to sell for 70.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think that's what they're trying to sell pretty quick. Yeah,
that's going to have to be $40. Here's what I would opt for: 70, 40, 20, free. $70 for your premium AAA RPG, big long 100-hour games. $40 for your mid-sized title like Destruction All Stars. $20 for your indies and free for your multiplayer games.
Yeah,
that's what I would do. But
yeah,
we'll see.
It's a great conversation to have. I just wanted to talk about it. Just an idea.
I hear you, Jacob. So is there anything you feel like is worth $70 on the horizon?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I think the games that Sony are putting out, I would have paid $70 for Spider-Man Miles Morales, even though it's not really a full fleshed out game like the other one. It's not, and I know it's not. I'm okay with that. But that's how much I have confidence in that, one, the studio, but also to that game. I 100%, that's the first game I 100%ed ever. Mm-hmm. Like, that's how much I love that game.
That was your game of the year, wasn't it?
Yes, 100%. It was that great. And so the idea, like, for that, I'd pay $70 for that experience. God of War, the fact they teased that at the end, I'm like, $70, done deal. Yeah. But for me, I'm like, okay, Destruction All Stars. That game's not, I don't think that game's $70, but if that came out $70, I was like, oh, God, no, I would never pay that much. That's my point. That's the kind of stuff I was getting. I agree with you, like, that kind of stuff. Demon Souls, is it $70?
I think it is, but it's a ground up remake. To me,
I think it is.
And most people didn't play it the first time.
That
game
like that level of game, or a new Naughty Dog game, or the next Spider-Man 2 full game, like those, like AAA God of War 2 is going to be $70. Like all these ones that's like, this is taking years and so much effort, versus Miles Morales might have taken us, not as long as time, and it's more of a, life.
But if it was a Demon Souls remaster, I'd say $40. I mean, I would pay a lot for it, but I would say $40 is what it should.
I agree.
Games like Madden, I haven't touched the new Madden. I probably won't touch the new Madden this year. Games like Call of Duty, games like Assassin's Creed, I don't pay $60 for them. I will never pay $70 for them.
Those are games I don't even know, even if they were free, I'd spend much time with them. They're not worth your time.
But I do love Call of Duty and the new Black Ops. I love Black Ops, but I look at that, I'm like, that's not a $70 game. That's barely a $6 game to me. I love Black Ops is my all-time favorite.
That's just not worth the file size. The game's cool, but 178 gigs on PC.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, that's how much I love Black Ops, and I wouldn't even pay $70 for it. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's again, I'm ranting at this point. We're going down a rabbit hole. I can talk about what I've played. You guys want to know what I've been up to?
Yeah, let's go on it.
All right.
Hey, I'm gonna make a suggestion. I think we've played a lot. I'm gonna let Jacob have the floor for a lot of it, but I think for me and Travis, can we agree? Me and Travis, maybe. I haven't played that much either. I was just gonna say maybe one that you want to talk really more extensively on, and then the other one's kind of like, we like kind of speed run them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jacob, maybe speed run some of yours that you like don't like, whatever. But like, I want to give you the floor because you don't get to talk a lot. About that.
Honestly, this has been one of my most productive game playing times because obviously I'm not employed right now. That's changing next week, so I went ahead and got into gear and said, let's bust out some games I needed to bust out.
Yeah.
Couple of things I revisited just because I was feeling nostalgic. Age of Empires 2. I love RTS games. I adore them. And Age of Empires 2 is one of my all-time favorite RTS games. It is so, like, easy to jump in and play and get a 4-hour game in. And 4 hours, to me, is like a short RTS session. Like, especially if you're, like, playing only against one other computer or something like that. So I jump in there and I start playing it, and I start getting crazy. I was like, you know what? I want to do an 8-player free-for-all RTS game. And I sat there and I was like, it's been 7 hours, and I've only killed 3 people, and I keep fighting yellow, and I can't build up an army. So now I'm trying to sign treaties with green, and I'm trying to make some things happen to where I can just get enough army strength to take on this other army. And I was like, oh, I gotta stop this game, and I end up like stopping and coming and revisiting. But man, I love Age of Empires 2, and I found out Age of Empires 3 is coming out next month. It's going to complete definitive edition remaster.
Nice.
Really excited about that. Bob, have you guys ever played Age of Empires? You guys ever touched that?
I've seen
No, I
people play
haven't.
it. I've seen
I
people
thought
play
about checking it out. It looks fun.
I'm pretty sure. Is it on Game Pass?
It is. All 3 of them are.
Hey, hey, what a win.
The remaster of 3 is on Game Pass right now.
Yeah, the definitive edition is getting ready to come out next month for 3, which is like all the expansion remastered and everything on top of it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be checking that out. That's something I'm gonna be checking out.
I want to jump in because I'm gonna forget about the Game Pass thing. Did you guys see? I just want to give a heads up to you guys too. I guess that is going to go up in price. Game Passes.
I saw.
But I guess people found out a way. They're like hoarding the $5. There's a way to like buy up Xbox Gold, and that upgrades to Game Pass. So people just bought 3 years worth at the $5 for $120. So people drop $120 and you have it for 3 years.
You can do that, but it has to be a new gamer tag. And so for me, I already have the one that I have. So what's changing is it's been $4.99 on PC.
Yeah.
And so it's been that because it's been like in beta.
Yeah.
But it's built up enough of a base that they're changing it to $9.99.
Yeah.
To me and the games I'm playing, like unless I go a month or 2 without using it, then I would cancel it. But I've been using it.
That was just my PSA.
Yeah.
I saw that though. People were doing that. It was pretty clever.
Okay, that's how they were doing it.
No, yeah.
Cool.
Another one I just want to touch on. I picked up Microsoft Flight Simulator. Man, that game is detailed, and it's a flight simulator.
Did you find your house?
Downloading that too.
Yes, I did. It was actually.
Do they have Hamilton modeled?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They have Hamilton modeled. They had Kings Island. I threw past Kings Island, and I was like,
I gotta download this.
This is crazy. So like, it was really cool. It was really intimidating. I flew through a storm, and it was the coolest thing ever because like I took off in the highest level jet. And I was flying through the storm, and I saw the lightning coming through the clouds. And I was like, I've never seen something like this before. Like, is this what it's like to fly? So I put it in the first-person mode, and I was looking around. And I was like, oh, my gosh. Like, this is I have no idea where I'm going.
Yeah.
And so you look – they have the monitor on your aircraft, and I'm like, thank goodness I have this satellite because it's telling me what way I should be flying through the storm because I had no idea where I was going. And I was like, it's that bad. And I was like, this is crazy. So what I'm excited about, the reason I picked it up was not because I don't play flight simulators. I didn't get X. It's super realistic, but it's the VR component that's coming out later that I am going to eat up. I'm going to eat up all the time I can in the world on the VR portion of this game because of just how realistic it was just playing on a mouse and keyboard. And the idea of me having my hands and controlling all the little knobs with the VR, I'm giddy.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
People are giving that game of the year, I'm seeing. And I also saw, because that's on Game Pass too, so I'm going to download that sometime. Maybe you get Game Pass. Sounds like you're buying a lot of games that are on Game Pass.
It sounds like I am. Well, I've had Age of Empires forever.
But what's that?
I've had Age of Empires forever.
Yeah, but I saw people when the hurricane was happening, that game live maps weather.
Yeah.
And like when
gosh.
When the fires were happening, the game live maps the fires. So when the hurricane was happening, people were getting online and streaming them flying through the hurricane.
Yep. The best part of the game,
like it live updates from weather feeds, construction feeds. Like if they're building a building in real life, it'll start to show the building over time go up in the game. Like it is an immaculate piece of programming.
This is the best thing I can give you. I jumped into a lobby just for kicks and giggles. I have never done a flight simulator. I jump in a lobby, I open up on a taxi runway, and I'm sitting here and I hear people talking. I hear the air traffic controller. This is so I beep and I'm like, this is our Robert Traxi Foxtrot Bravo 787 requesting taxi to runway 18 left. Permission to clear. And I sit there and I wait, and then some dude comes on. Yes, I can copy. You can have taxi runway left. Go ahead and now. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't screw this up now. I'm like, because I know he's watching me. So it's like a whole nother pressure because I'm like backing up and I'm requesting like permission to take off, do this, and I was doing all that. It was cool. It was really, really interesting. The online, obviously, it's super serious, but there's also lobbies that are not serious where I get to see a hot air balloons take off and it's just people just being stupid. But yeah, I really liked it. It was a good time. It was a great experience. The VR, I'll have to let you guys know how the VR is going to be insane.
I'm going to have to download that. That's the perfect game to download and just check out.
You mentioning the air traffic control, there is a hilarious YouTube. I don't know how to find it now, but
Air Force Proud. Yeah. I know who you're talking about.
He is like it sounds like a legit like air traffic control, but he will read out professionally what is happening. So we have whatever the name is. Seems like you are doing donuts in the middle of the track. Please stop doing that. Or like, it seems like you're flying straight at the booth, and like he'll just do it as legit as possible. And I was in tears watching those because it was so.
We got a Boeing 747 going to take a big split down the runway now.
I was having a blast. Yeah. They're so funny.
It's a grand time. Game of the year. If people are that good at it, 100%. For me, it was a great experience. I enjoyed it. The other one I wanted to let everybody know is I finally beat Red Dead Redemption 2.
You've joined the club.
It's taken me forever.
Did you do the epilogue?
Yep.
Beat the whole thing?
Yeah, just a good.
Beat it this year, so I can't say anything.
Yeah, I thought the game was going to end after, Arthur. I thought that was the end. I didn't know there was like more. Yeah. And so I was like, I got the ending, and he was on the horseback ride, and he was having the monologue, and I was just like, this is sad. Like this is really, really sad. And I had the ending fight, and then you picked up as John, and I was like, oh,
it's not even over.
That's why I was like, I'm not done yet. I literally thought that was like, oh no.
You're like really not done. Like there's another 10 hours of that game.
So then I go through and play that portion of the game, and I was like, they need to remake Red Dead. That's why I sat there. I was like, they need to remake Red Dead.
Yeah,
they just have to.
I never played
Red Dead 1
either.
I tried playing it on PlayStation Now, and I was like, this game does not age well.
Yeah, I feel like it's aged a little bit past.
Yeah, I was like, I can't
especially after playing the second one, you don't want to go back.
That's why I was like, I can't play this.
That'd be a good one for Blue Point to do.
So I played that one. The two games I wanted to spend the most time talking about was one, Among Us. Holy crap!
This is all our group chat. Is this Among Us now?
What a stupid, addicting game. And this is where, like, all right, so Among Us is a game that's about deception, about lying, about killing, about survival, and it's almost like a flash game. It belongs on a flash game.
I was going to say, this game is interesting because it's almost not a game. It is as little as you could have be in a game. It's all about being a platform for the social interaction.
100%, which is
it's all about the talking to each other and the arguing. It is like a flash game almost.
And I've absolutely enjoyed playing through this game. I have already logged almost 40 hours in this game, and you can play it on your computer. You can play on your phone for free, or you can buy it for $5 on PC and play on the PC.
And it's crossplay. So like we got in a lobby with friends that normally don't play with us because they don't own PCs, but they're playing on their phone in Discord. And we were like playing on computers in Discord, and it's really fun.
I have like been in awe because one, I found Discords that people who have played voice chat. So I've been playing with people across the world with this game, and it's so funny. So you get in a lobby, and you're like, I'm the imposter. So I kill somebody, and they're like, it's Jacob, and I'm like, no, it's not. And I sit here, and it's made me such a good liar. Like, I've become such a better liar because of this
awesome.
Game.
That is a good life skill.
Hey, it's crazy because I'm like, it can't be me because I was just with Light Blue, and we were up by asteroids, and I walked through the right hallway, and the body was through the left hallway. I never went to the left hallway, even though I did. But then I have someone who can vouch for me, and he's like, yeah, he was over here. And it's like, gotcha. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and it's like, this is awesome. This is so cool. The social interaction is great. I've literally been playing this game nonstop. And I am sitting here saying, like, how does a game get the cult classic? So this game got out in 2018. It was a nothing.
Yeah.
Like they were going to make a second one, but this game got so big it crashed their servers, and they had to buy more servers.
I saw that. They said that they were working on Among Us 2, and then this blew up recently, and so they canceled it. And then I saw someone say, so this is the last Among Us.
Hey, I was like, wow, this is crazy. Like, but the game, that's what I mean. Like Battle Royale, when it became a thing back in 2018, early, like end of 2017, and then like it blew up and everybody started playing the Battle Royale genre. And now we have this game which like it's all about just talking. It's the gameplay is minimal. It's like I swipe a stupid card across a reader, but the gameplay is all based around what you're able to do. Man, it's like this is cool.
It takes the best parts of Project Winter, and I want to like Project Winter, but it's so big and obtuse, and there are things I think Project Winter does better, but it shrinks the map down to one spaceship that's like 8 rooms. It narrows your field of vision, so you don't have to run as far of distances. You just go shorter distances, but you can only see so much. And it just gives you dumb little mini games like go fix the wiring, go clock in, go shoot down 10 asteroids, go do this. And so you've just got 8 people walking across, you're in here, then you're in there, and you're in here. It's physically impossible to know who would have killed somebody when they find a body, but it's fun. It's almost like Clue, but with a flash game. And like I think it's good. I do say that I don't like that there's no voice chat. So they encourage you not to talk in the game. They encourage you not to talk.
Use text.
You can text, but you can talk, but they encourage you not to talk. You can only talk when you're in like the emergency meetings.
Yep.
I love in Project Winter that it's proximity talking. So you can only hear the people that are near you, and then you can leave. So you could lie to somebody and then leave. I miss that a lot. And having played Project Winter first and then coming to this, when I got in, people were like, okay, we're all going to not talk in the chat. It kind of takes away some of the magic because you can't talk. So you can't like that whole element of like having to lie constantly is gone. And I like that with Project Winter of if you're the killer, you constantly have to act like you don't know what's going on. Whereas in this, you just got to be quiet and then sell it in the meeting room. So,
but that's why I like Among Us in the sense of like when they bring you all together, I have to have my story together because if I say I was somewhere and I really wasn't and someone was there, they're going to call me out and I'm dead. So I have to really like plot the pieces. So like I'll do things where it's like, all right, I'm not killing in the beginning. I'm going to wait and I'm just going to sow seeds of like, it couldn't be Jacob. And then I'm going to start just boom, boom, boom. I'm going to start offing people. And it's like, how can you have to really just like think in game with it, which again, it's so crazy how quickly a game will just take off into cult, like classic following level. Because like I walk around, people at schools are playing at this. I sit there, they're downloading their phones, they're sitting there at lunch, and they're
because they're not in school right now. Everybody's COVID.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like
we don't need education. We just need Among Us and lying.
To me, it's a classic example though of what Phil Spencer said, which is like make these games free, get them on phones, people will play them. Like, this game's been on Steam for 2 years, nobody's played it. They add an update where people can play it on their phone with people from PC, and it takes off. Like,
and now people are playing on PC now more than ever.
Yeah. And it drives PC sales. Like,
great game. If you haven't played this game, pick it up. You're in for a great time because the moment you jump into a lobby, all you have to do is say, "Hey, Pink vented. I saw him vent," and everyone's gonna mob kill Pink. And it's just like, hey, Pink's really sus right now. Like, it's hilarious. It is a great time. I've absolutely enjoyed it. I played with Travis recently. I'm trying to get Zach to play one time when he gets some free time.
We should do a stream of it. That'd be fun.
Oh, it'd be a blast.
That'd be a fun hangout, yeah.
I'd scream at you guys, but that's just me. The only other game I wanted to talk about that I'm going to spend about 3 or so minutes on is Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Have you guys picked this up yet?
I did.
You did? Zach, were you able to pick this up?
I'm not getting it, but I will be playing Super Mario Sunshine soon on the stream next week.
Okay, right on.
You're sidestepping it.
You're messed up.
Yeah.
Clever.
Okay, it's fine. I picked it up, and I have loved every minute of it. It is frustrating as crap. I beat Mario 64 when I was younger. I picked it up again. I played through it. I beat that really quick. Like, I was surprised how quick I was able to beat it, like in the 70 stars and everything. But I will have to say, man, that camera does not age well on a 3D platformer because I was at times, I was like, I love smooth turning control with the second analog. And I
Yeah.
forgot when the 64 came out, they didn't have a second analog. They used the C buttons for your camera, which was
They
a big
should
deal
have.
back
They
then.
should have updated that.
They were like, nah, we want to be as cheap as possible. That's
I
what they did.
think it's so tied to the way that Mario moves in that game too.
It could be.
And that's why don't think they could have done the 3D view. I think it's almost
set
Tank
angles.
Mario. He's almost Tank Mario, like Tank Control Mario in some ways.
But it is like hard. It makes the game harder. Like, cause I was sitting, I'm playing it, and let's be honest, I played on my handheld mode the most on my Switch, and I was using the analogs on the Joy-Cons, which already aren't the greatest. And I was just like, this is really hard to get precise movements, like to be like really on point. And coming from Odyssey, where it's like you have to really be on point, but it's tailored to the Joy-Cons.
Yeah.
It worked out. So I got through 64 pretty quickly. I got the Sunshine, and this is the point where I started flipping my Switch off. I was so enraged because when you think about the upgrade, when Sunshine came out, I didn't beat Sunshine when it came out on the GameCube because it was really difficult, but it was tailored to the GameCube controller, which had an analog stick. And the direction was like you could slow down really fast and speed up really quick all by how far you press the button. The Joy-Cons are not like that. They're digital. And so the input is really difficult. And I will start running, and the parts that make me really mad are the classic stages. If you guys ever played the classic stages in Super Sunshine where they take away Flood, it is absolutely the hardest thing in the whole game.
They're hard.
And it's way more difficult with the stupid Joy-Cons. So then I'm like, I'll get the Pro Controller. Because maybe I have the Pro Controller will be easier. I bust that thing out. It's still just as stinking difficult.
Yeah.
I've never played that one
The game
yet.
has weird spikes. It is all over the place.
Oh my gosh. And people say and praise this game. They're like, it's the best platformer.
I remember liking it as a kid, but I am going to play it soon and see how
I was screaming. I was so mad. Like, my dog was jumping because it's like midnight, and I'm sitting in my bed, and I'm like, I'm just getting instantly angry because I'm dying constantly. The game, the difficulty spikes are insane, and I just think for me, I was really surprised because I thought about the GameCube in general. I was like, why did all these games, because I think about Smash Brothers, I think about Perfect Dark, I think about all those games that went up going to the GameCube. Why did they all just spike all of a sudden in difficulty? Like, why did they just all get up there in that level? And I was trying to figure out why. I just couldn't really peg it because maybe they just got used to 3D and they just instantly hit the crank on it. I don't know.
I think there is an art to nailing. Like, I think, looking back at Sunshine, how they did it. Look at the Crash trilogy. That first game, ungodly spikes, and then the easiest levels on planet Earth. That second game has the perfect balance of like very hard, like it's starting to get you, and then like it's training you to get better, and then like it gets harder as it goes along. And I think that Sunshine there is something to be said about good game design and where you're not spiking and going crazy like that, like up and down.
Yeah.
And I think Sunshine just struggles in that. And I remember that from back then of like, it's certain parts in Sunshine are ungodly easy. And then it turns into the hardest thing on planet Earth.
Yeah.
I remember that stuck with me. So I think that's just an art to like nailing that and, fine tuning those controls and those levels. So
I'll tell you what, I do agree with what Travis, I think Travis said it earlier, is why didn't they did Travis say it, or was it Zach? I wasn't sure who said it earlier. Kind of just fix it in the terms of the controls, because if they just fixed it where it just worked better with the controller, with the type of controller we have today, I think it'd be so much more better. But because it's a one-in-one port and all they did was upscale the resolution, it makes the game so much more difficult. And I don't know. Maybe it was that hard back then. I don't remember.
It was.
Okay.
Pretty hard.
I don't feel as bad then. But I definitely think it just reminded me how much the Joy-Cons suck. If I'm being completely honest, I'm not a fan of the Joy-Cons at all.
They've been a problem with certain games, huh?
They're just they're not precise. The analog, it's just they give you so little room. Where I feel like when you pick up a GameCube controller, you feel like you have so much more room. When you pick up an Xbox controller, my degree of rotation, it feels so much more. Yeah. But when I'm holding my Switch, I know I'm doing online video examples. Look at how little I have to move my thumb just to get all the way to it's
they cramp my hands. They cramp my hands. Pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's just weird. It's really, really weird. And for a platformer, it's like it hinders your abilities to pull off the wall, like the wall jumping. Wall jumping became a big deal in Sunshine. And I'm sitting here like, I have to be really precise on how I jump the walls. And it's like, oh, why am I messing this up? I know I'm not a bad gamer. I know I'm not, like, I know I should be able to do this. So I'm hoping to beat Sunshine this week and jump into Galaxy because I loved Galaxy on the Wii.
Galaxy to me is the best that Mario's ever been. I loved Odyssey. I had an amazing time with it. Galaxy is like the pinnacle of the whole series. Galaxy and Galaxy 2 and stuff. To me.
I wanted to see how it looked, so I booted it up, and I was like, oh, this looks nice. Like, it looks good.
It looked amazing back then. And during the HD era, and that game still held up and being an SD game, standard definition.
Yeah, it looks Sunshine looks great. That's the cool thing about Mario. The only one that looks bad is 64 because it's the Nintendo 64 game. You can't really fix that. But Sunshine looks great. Odyssey looks good. They're upscaled to 720p. I don't need those games in crisp 1440 4K. I don't need Mario in that. I need Mario in HD, which that's what I get, and it looks good. It looks really good. So I'm excited for you guys to play it. Travis, when you jump into Sunshine, I'm curious to what you think.
I will do that, and I'll bring my thoughts next time for sure.
Yeah, very, very curious on what you guys think. And then Zach, I'll tune in Thursday. I'll have to check it out the stream if I got some time. I'm gonna have to talk about it because I want to see how you do it. Are you're playing on your GameCube or GameCube controller?
I'm gonna. I don't know, like my Xbox controller, maybe. Nintendo sent me a special edition of Sunshine on All-Stars, so
it's gonna be
pretty
great.
cool.
It's gonna turn out awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's cool, guys. I just want to wrap those things up with you, man, and get you guys your little nuggets of the day because I played a lot of games.
Yeah.
Little nuggets.
No, little nuggets.
We got our little nuggets.
Little gaming nuggets.
Well, do you have to leave, Jacob? You have to leave us. Do you have any final thoughts?
I think Xbox is going to win the console generation.
Wow.
Final thought. I'll let you guys talk about it after I leave.
Wow. Yeah, what a nugget you've left.
I'll see you guys next time.
Goodbye.
You,
so that's pretty cool. Super Mario, all that stuff. All that to be said about the Mario remasters and stuff. You got it, Travis, but I had it pre-ordered, and this is where my mind was. I'm saying this not to crap on anybody that bought All-Stars. I think it's cool you can play it on the go. I like that they upgrade all this, some of the stuff. You can play it on your Switch. But I had it pre-ordered, and around that time, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater had come out pretty close to this coming out. And the remake of the first two games. And I got that, and I've been playing that. I played on the Hangout stream. You can watch that. But in playing it and then seeing some of the stuff to where Super Mario 64 is not 1080p, it's 720p. They did some of this. It felt, as low effort as you could go.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this to crap on anybody that bought this.
No, yeah.
But playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater remake, they've remade all the levels. It's packed with tons of challenges that I've been just when I can. I've been very busy lately, but when I have jumped in, I'm loving going through these challenges and playing the online. So much so that I still had that Super Mario All-Stars pre-ordered. I canceled my pre-order because of Tony Hawk. Tony Hawk made me cancel Super Mario.
It was so good that you said
it was so good, and it was $40 versus the $60 for the Super Mario. That was like, I'm having so much fun at this remaster and what they're doing with this that I cannot pay $60 for Super Mario now because I'm so engrossed in Tony Hawk and having such an amazing time and the effort that went into the time and all that they had put into this new one and the fun little things they've added to it.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to just cancel, just play this. So I've been playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, nonstop when I can.
Yeah. My main rationale for buying it, because I totally get that. And I did think about it, I was like, on PC, I can emulate, I think, all three of these games.
Yeah.
I mean, not saying how anybody else would or wouldn't do it, but like, that's just true. But where it kind of hit me is, okay, I played 64 as a kid. I loved it. I played Odyssey. I loved it. Never played Sunshine, never played Galaxy. And I was like, I've never played those games. So I feel like I should give Nintendo the money, and I'm getting them $20 for something I love and $20 for two new games. And
Yeah.
But you're right. Like, it is not like the most effort port at all.
Yeah,
You know?
it's incredibly low effort, and I did cancel. It's a surprising move for me because I love collecting and I love having all this stuff, and it's there till March, so I have till March to
Yeah.
decide whatever I want to get it from them.
Maybe Black
But
Friday.
yeah, Black Friday. Let's see what happened Black Friday. But yeah, I've been playing that. Incredibly fun. So tight. They've nailed the controls of this. It's the same people who did the Crash trilogy. They nailed it. The multiplayer is fun. I had this same thing. I've been playing Halo 3 lately as well. Halo 3 and the Tony Hawk games, I feel like I am tight on. I feel like those are my games in the Skate series. I feel like I'm very good at those games versus other stuff where I struggle. This going online as well has made me feel like that I'm getting freaking destroyed in certain things, but it's also made me better. I'm learning new ways to play that I usually just keep to the vert stuff, but now I'm learning you have to stick with the grinds. You have to link these combos in different ways that I never did in the past. But
Yeah.
so I'm actually getting really good. I'm actually increasing my skill having to play online.
I'm the worst Tony Hawk player. I am so bad at this. I like them. I played them as a kid, but I hold one like button and I do like the leg grab and I just go around as many times as I can.
There's so much stuff I'm learning and stuff and how people are playing online and it's like, okay, I'm getting it and I'm actually getting better. So having an incredible time with that. The online is awesome. You'll play one little match where it's like get the highest combo, whoever reaches a score in the fastest time, or play graffiti.
Are there other people in there playing with you?
Yeah, so there's like a more chill mode, and then there's like competitive, like the best people are playing this other mode, and I jump between the two of them depending on how I feel for the night. So awesome, highly freaking recommended. $40. It's amazing if you played it in the past. Absolutely recommended. It is the first two games. I honestly think it's my favorite Tony Hawk game now because
what a surprise for this year for this to come out.
They've added the reverts to Tony Hawk 1 and 2, and then you can change up grinds while you're in the middle of it. So they added the quality of life improvements of the newer games into these older levels. I think it's the definitive versions of these games.
That's cool.
So they're my favorite, I believe now. That, and then I played Deus Ex, which I've played on stream. The game is incredible. I think I might have talked about it last podcast. I can't remember, but
I don't remember.
Having an amazing time with that. And I'm looking forward to playing more. You really get to choose 18 different ways of how to go about a level and how to interact with these characters. And it's really, I'm having a blast playing it on stream and stuff too. But that game is just very open choice on how you want to tackle the levels. And it's really
what style of character are you playing in that game?
I love just being the good guy in that and doing stuff. I try to keep the very good guy kind of stuff.
Are you doing stealth or like
combat you're talking
focus?
About you're talking
your
about
build.
My build of that.
So I've been told it's super open-ended. Like you can be stealth and sneak in back doors. It's so open-ended
that I kind of just whatever I waltz into. So if I have the right tools, I'm sneaking in. If I don't have any of the tools, I did find this door. Okay, luckily I don't have to have the tool. I have this door, and I can go through here and whatever. But I love my favorite thing about these games, Oblivion games, whatever. I save on stream, and then I go, all right, let's see what happens now. And I just start shooting up the good guys and shooting up all this stuff, and chaos just ensues. And
have you ever been surprised that you could pull something off that you didn't think maybe you would be able to, or you had an idea and you were able to do it?
Yeah, they just have it's funny how much you can skip of this game if you have the right tools and you are patient with it and you find this back path and you read the certain note and it's like, oh, that's where this code is too. And I can go back here and you can really skip a lot of stuff and make yourself a lot easier playthrough if you want to.
That's awesome.
It's very, very good. It's very well designed. And, I see why it's a classic in a lot of people's books. So
it's really cool.
It's really good. Yeah. So what have you been playing?
I've been playing a few different things. So, I've been playing Crusader Kings 3. And that game was not on my radar this year whatsoever. I haven't played a game like that ever. And I haven't really played a more strategy kind of game in a long time. But you and we talked quite a bit actually about it because I didn't realize there were these types of games necessarily. So Crusader Kings 3, it's made by Paradox Games. It came out this year. It came out in August, I think, and it released on Game Pass day one that it came out. And there were 3 games. It was Microsoft Flight Simulator, Wasteland 3 and Crusader Kings 3, they all came out same time, like in August. They all had 90 plus on Metacritic, and they were all day one Game Pass. And I was like, man, like I have Game Pass. I feel like these are the kinds of games I should be checking out.
Yeah.
Like they're reviewed really highly. I have access. So I just took a chance and downloaded Crusader Kings. I was like, I'm just hearing great things. And that game is phenomenal. Like, talk about a game that was not on my radar this year, was not thinking about it. It's essentially a dynasty simulator. It's like The Sims meets Game of Thrones meets, like, I don't know, like World History 101. Like, you basically sit back and you play as a king or a duke or a count or whatever, and you've got like your whole family, and you can marry people, you can have kids, you can add people to your court, and you can go to war with people, or you can backstab, or you can, you know, do like you can create your own religion, you can advance Irish culture or whatever country you're in. I was in Ireland, and you can just do all these things, and you can slow down time to like a crawl, or you can pause time, or you can speed up and like have a decade go by like that. And it's a game. So it's this brand of game called Grand Strategy that I didn't really know about. Like, I thought strategy games were always just like an RTS, you know what I mean? Where you're controlling little units on a battlefield. But Grand Strategy is this thought of like you're an entity. Like in some of these games, you play as the country. In this game, you could lose your country and get another country. You could just lose your country and never get a country, and you just rule a town. Like, this game is you're ruling the dynasty. And so you play as a player, and then when they die, you become their next heir. It could be a girl, it could be a guy, they could be old, they could be a baby. I literally played as 70-year-old men like 3 times in a row, and then I died and I had no heir. So my next in line was like a 5-year-old boy, and I was playing as a 5-year-old boy, and like he had a bully, and like I had to deal with this bully, and like the archbishop didn't trust my decisions because I was 5, and I got.
So is it a lot of clicking? Are you clicking and making choices? Is it kind of like a? Is it like point and click in that way? Like
it's point and click in the way of like it constantly is generating scenarios. So like you have a world map, and you have like all these sidebars. You can look at like who all reports to me, how much taxes do they pay. Do I want to blackmail somebody? Let me see my family. But if you press spacebar and it starts going through time, it'll make like a noise like dun dun, and it'll bring up like, this girl pulled your hair. She keeps pulling your hair. Yeah. She doesn't like you. And you can be like, smack her in the face. And then it's like, this person you're playing as will gain the trait like deceitful, or gain the trait. There's all these traits, or like vengeful. And those traits will play into your stats later. So it's an RPG, but you don't get so attached. The biggest problem with me with RPGs is I always play as the nice guy, because I'm a nice guy, and it's hard. You feel like
nice guys finish last.
I don't want to make mean decisions for 70 hours. Well, the beauty of this game is you inherit a character, and depending on your life when you inherit them, they might be an adult. They may have a personality. So I had a guy that that was my inheritor, or he was like my next in line, and he was a backstabber. He was very vengeful. So the game encourages you to make decisions like that person would, because if you decide things outside of what they are, their stress meter will start going up. And as their stress meter goes up, you have to drink alcohol, or you have to like meet women, or you have to have sex with people that aren't your wife to like make the stress go down.
Yeah.
And like if the stress goes too high, you have stress-induced episodes where like you'll go crazy, or you'll punch somebody in front of a bunch of people, or you'll lose your mind and you'll like run around naked, and then rumors get out about the king is losing his mind. And so the game makes you make decisions like you're the character.
Yeah.
And they've solved that part of RPGs, and it's also good because you don't have to be this person forever. Like if you get somebody and you don't like playing as them, you can just speed through the next few decades. But I don't know. It's a fascinating game. I'm loving it. It's great. I'm on like my 6th down from the top ruler. And so the guy I'm playing as right now, he is like a very kind of conniving, backstabbing kind of person. So his dad was really good with finances. So I had a guy that was good at war, and I built him up as good at war, so we conquered a lot. Then I had a guy that was really good at controlling territory and getting taxes built up. And then his son sucked. He wasn't good at anything. I had like 7 kids, and like the guy that was first, he just was a potato. He had no skills. I forgot to assign who was going to be his teacher when he was young, so he didn't really get a good education. So I found out that there was a plot. I had a spy master. You have a council, and my spy master said, "Hey, there's someone trying to kill your son. What do you want me to do?" And I looked at who would take over if he died, and it was the grandson. And he was like 6, and he was really intelligent. And I was like, I'm gonna let my son get killed, maybe. And then he did. He got killed 6 months later, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then but then somebody got a hook on me. Somebody in my council knew that I knew and didn't do anything. So I had to figure out how to take care of that guy. And this game is just like it's a scenario generator. It's a sandbox of you'll do something, or like if your wife's cheating on you, you decide like, do I want to kill her? Do I want to put her in prison? Do I want to ignore it? And I actually ignored it once because my wife was so high stats that if I took her out of my court,
you got cucked because the stats were too high. You're like,
her stats were too high, so I let her stay. But then 70 years later, I found out that her daughter, that basically my whole dynasty was built off. I married her off into England. It came out that she wasn't really my daughter. So I lost like a whole branch of my empire. And now I got to decide if I want to go to war with them. And so it's just
the stats can be deceiving.
So it's one of those games that has like the backbone of like the economy, but it doesn't get too complicated. Like you can watch a couple YouTube videos or play the tutorial and you'll figure it out. The real meat and potato of that games is the bananas things. I think I sent you some of the things.
Yeah, and our group chat has been really funny.
And it is not repetitive at all. Like I've played it probably 20 hours, and it's just constantly new things. So Crusader Kings 3, great surprise, awesome game. But a couple other games like Game Pass. I've been playing a game called Thumper, which is a rhythm-based kind of I don't know. I don't want to call it a music game, but it is a rhythm game. But basically, it's like this little bug, and you're going down this high-speed lane. And
I played on the VR. They had it as a VR demo, I think.
Yeah. You press buttons. You played the VR demo. It's one of those games, like very tight gameplay-wise, very atmospheric. I really like the first 30 minutes. I think there's 9 stages, and I just finished the 7th one, so I'm in the last couple stages. To me, it's gonna end up probably being you can play it, even though I feel like in there's maybe a classic, but it just is so repetitive. The music, it's not really music. It's just like banging, like percussive, and every stage has the same tracks and the same final boss. They just add more mechanics.
Yeah.
It just feels to me like they super polished up an hour of gameplay and then said, how can we make this into 5 hours of gameplay? And they basically repeated it with new button presses. So
nothing. They don't introduce a lot of new stuff.
Yeah, it's one that I had. Yeah, they don't. And it's one that I had on my list for a long time. It's going to end up being about the right length. I'm about 3 hours in, and it'll be done in another hour. It's a good game to check out. If you're really into rhythm games, I think it's a fun one, and there's not tons of those. So if somebody's into those, I would recommend it. But it's nothing. I wouldn't say it's anything revolutionary or anything that like you have to play. So
Thumper.
There's that, and then I've been playing Forza Horizon 4. Like I've been playing it on my Xbox because I didn't really have space. I have like Doom and Halo and Destiny. I have a bunch of stuff on my PC right now, so I don't have space, and it's a big game. But I was reading threads about games of the generation, and I just kept seeing that one come up, and I was like, all the Forza Horizons to me seem like the same game. I feel like every year Microsoft rolls out a car and then they show a trailer with slick looking graphics, and it's Forza 8, Forza 4, Forza Horizon 3, and they all just run together. And so I was like, these people are making the Fable game that's coming out soon. I should check this out. Installed the game. That is a fantastic game. Like it is maybe the most polished game of the like it is so, the menus, the UI, the preloading, like the loading screens, the driving, the the pre-race build up, the way the soundtrack weaves into the
they've had a lot of time to refine it. I feel like they have one every year or something.
Lord, so I mean, if you've never played Forza Horizon, it basically every one of the Horizon, so the regular Forza games are like you pick tracks and you pick cars, and it's very much a sim. The Forza Horizon games are a little more arcadey, and basically they pick an area to be open world. I think 3 was Australia. I think 2 was like somewhere in Germany or something like that, or Sweden. but 4 is in Great Britain. And so basically they took Great Britain and they made it into like, a scaled down version. But the thing about Horizon 4 is, or Horizon, Forza Horizon 4 is they did this special engine where they do all 4 seasons. And so the festival is the Horizon Festival. Every one of those games that takes place at the Horizon Festival. And it's basically like Burning Man meets a car show. Like that's the way it is. But then they use it to do these really fun, goofy, some of them are goofy, some of them are more serious, like quests. Like you have a character and it's like Tony Hawk Underground. Like you go and one of the quest lines is like this film that's getting made and you meet the director and he's like, okay, we need you to get in this car and drive off this thing. And then the next time he's like, I need you to take this old car and you got to drive it down these beaches, but you have to like really take these curves fast. And you're like, why are these cars don't look the same? He's like, I don't know. I haven't read the script. You just need to go do this. Like they've got fun amounts of humor in them. And the game is constantly mixing up. It's not like you just get one car and you drive it, right? There's some races where you have to use a buggy. There's races where you have to use a sports car or a Jeep style car, or, they're just constantly giving you different types of terrain, different series of terrain, different cars you need to drive on it. You're unlocking cars, you're buying houses, and it's just a super polished game. It looks, I'm playing on a 1S. I've got a baller gaming computer over here. I'm sitting here leaning back playing this game on my TV, and it looks maybe just as good as anything else that's come out this generation.
Yeah.
Like Red Dead 2 level graphics driving around in this game.
Yeah, it looked really funny and fun. What you said,
Yeah,
in the group
like
chat was this. You were racing like it looked like a giant, boat. Like
it was like a giant, like
airboat,
like a airboat that drives on the ground. Yeah, like it just
looked really fun.
Every race is something different. Some of them are zany, some of them are more regular races.
That's fun.
Yeah, it's really fun. They've got some cool expansions in there. Like there's a portal you can go through that turns everything into Lego World. So it's like Lego World with all that. They did a Hot Wheels expansion, so it's the Forza driving, but it's a giant Hot Wheels set. You can do gigantic
gosh
stuff. So
that sounds really fun.
Yeah, it's a really fun game. So
I might check that
I'm
out.
having a good time with it. It's a good I missed this one this generation. Let's hop into this and check it out. So been having a great time with it. And I haven't played a racing game in a long time. So
that's really cool.
That's about it. Just some games.
Do you mind? I watched like 4 or 5 movies or whatever this month. I just want to talk about one.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about. Well, it's a trilogy, but I'll just put it all in one. I went through all the Bill and Ted movies. I won't talk in detail about whatever, but I've never seen these movies at all. Have you seen?
I love the first Bill and Ted. I watched it a bunch as a kid, and I didn't watch Bogus, so I don't.
Okay, so I watched all 3 back to back. I've never seen any of these. That first one is like just a good concept for a movie.
Yeah.
It is this, and I actually was like, these people act like Wayne's World. And no, these people were first. Like this came out before first. Wayne's World, and I was like, "Oh shoot, Wayne's World actually kind of copied." I don't know when they came out.
Wayne's World definitely pretty heavily leans in. I think it's kind of parodying a little bit Back to the Future style people.
Yeah,
or not Back to the Future. Yeah.
But it was interesting. I've never seen this. I was like, "Oh, this is where Wayne's World kind of leaned into it." Yeah, but Keanu Reeves, I forgot the other guy's name, but it was just a fun concept. It's these goofy, stupid teenagers, these dumb teenagers, and they have to figure out a book report. They're gonna fail, but they need to go back in time, and they go back in time to. And my form of this movie was basically made for me. It's funny, I'm only just now seeing it. My favorite thing is the juxtaposition of very serious, highly regarded things and like poo-poo fart jokes.
Yeah.
And when those two things meet, that's always the funniest thing.
And that's this whole movie.
That's the whole movie. It's them meeting Socrates and all these just
Genghis Khan and
and that is just a funny, fun concept of sandbox that ends up being of just these playful like little moments.
It's such a positive movie too.
Yes.
There's no cynicism. There's not an ounce of cynicism in that movie.
It is just all fun.
Yeah.
The second one is so gonzo. It is so wacko.
I've never seen it.
I'm gonna. I kind of want to spoil this part of it.
Yeah, you're fine.
The first movie is like a good concept. It's a tight movie. It's funny. It's fun. You'll have a good time. The second movie is they go to hell. Like they go to hell. There's a giant. The alien they meet in heaven. They go to heaven and meet all these people, and they meet this hairy alien, and that's what helps them out. And they meet death, and
I've heard it's like just so weird.
It is so far out there that I actually end up having fun because it's so stupid.
Yeah.
But the first one is way better. The second one, I gave it like a 2.5.
At least they had the balls to just mix it up. They didn't try to go back in time again.
Yeah, it is so gonzo. And the third movie is it's kind of a direct. I heard another podcast I watched kind of summed it up of like it's a direct to DVD kind of Bill and Ted. It's nothing special, but also in that same podcast, they kind of summed it up well of like, and I felt the same when I was watching it. In this year of just crap, of just like a total downer year on a law fronts, this brought back the first one's feeling of fun and the feeling of like positivity and whatever. And that I think is the light that is in this movie, you know, the good stuff of this movie. So
I saw someone say on Twitter, they were like, I don't know if it's just that 2020 has been so rough, but I teared up at the end of Bill and Ted 3, and I don't like think it's a movie worth tearing up over. Not to rag on it. They're like, I don't think it's worth it, but it's just been kind of that year, so it's just a nice moment.
Yeah. What's funny is they have to bring in basically their daughters, Bill and Ted's daughters, to continue that dumb like kind of thing because when you're
adults,
when you're a teenager, dumb, it's fun. But when you're like adults and you're still trying to be dumb, now it's like you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Now I'm mad at you for being so dumb. But I had fun with it still. So Bill and Ted was absolutely the most fun out of 10 that you can have.
That's cool.
And I enjoyed it.
I'm glad you finally watched those. That's really interesting.
That first one was definitely right up my alley. But
yeah.
Good stuff. Well, that's been our very long podcast. Maybe it's normal, but I don't know. We had to cut it a bunch of times. Zoom's trying to kick us out.
You had to cut it?
We had to cut. There's no cuts in this. It was all straight through. But thank you for joining us. Check out DweeBoYT on Twitter when we're going live, when new podcasts coming out. When who's going to be on the Hangouts? You don't know who's going to join us. If it's going to be Socrates, it might be Major Nelson. He might, jump in.
Maybe we'll get Phil on here.
Yeah. You never know. Jim Ryan might tell us we're not upgrading.
Yep.
We're not upgrading your games.
Hey, we've got a system for people that own Spider-Man on PS4.
It's called a PS4.
That press release was about one more sentence away from saying that. That is the level.
Yeah. You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. That's what I've learned. But thank you for joining us. Next podcast, we still won't have the PS5, but maybe
we'll be very close, though. We'll be ready.
Very close. So I'm getting excited. We're getting to the fall. This is when the games galore come out. So we're going to have some good podcasts.
Yeah, we're coming up on Cyberpunk, too.
Cyberpunk will be a big one, too. So thank you for joining us. And, what else is there to say? I'm out. Classic words. The classic Travis.
Peace out. Have a good one.
Peace out.